Hello friends, I'm Krista and you're watching Books and Jams, and I am here today with a Friday 5. It's been a few weeks since I've done a Friday 5, but I have a lot of ideas on a list and I need to get back into it because there's lots of things to share with you. This week I'm going to do another quarterly anticipated reads, and because I'm a little late, it's already May, I'm going to do April, May, and June. So some of these books have already been released. I am not someone who reads a lot of new releases typically because I have so many backlist books already on my shelves. However, it's been a lot of fun this year to take a look at what's coming out and see what strikes my fancy, what looks exciting to me, what books I am gonna keep my eye on. Let me just jump right in and tell you the 5 books I'm excited about in order of when they were or will be released. So the first one came out in April and I'm really excited for this one. The cover of it alone makes me really excited to read this, and it's called Home for Unwanted Girls by Joanna Goodman. This one came out on April 17th, and it is about a young mother who in the 1950s in Quebec, Canada, she was forced to put her baby up for adoption, and this was not her choice. This kind of sat with her whole life. So we follow in this book the 2 storylines of the mother and the baby that was put up for adoption. And now this baby grew up in an orphanage. We learn a little bit about the orphanage system in Quebec in the 1950s, and mental institutions were being paid more government funding than orphanages were at the time. And so often orphanages would declare children mentally ill in order for them to be sent to mental institutions instead of being cared for in orphanages. And so Elodie is one of these children that is declared mentally ill, even though that is not the case. So we follow her story, but we also follow Maggie, the mother. She eventually does get married to a businessman, and he wants to start having children, but she is held back because of this desire to find the child that is still a part of her life and her heart. I'm assuming that their stories are going to kind of intertwine and connect at some point, and it just sounds like a book that I would absolutely love to read. The second book just came out at the beginning of May. I first heard about this book from Jasmine at Novel Thoughts, and it's called Map of Sultan Stars. And I did something bold this month, and I actually reached out to the publisher of this book and asked for a copy of it to talk about on my channel, because when I heard what it's about, I knew it was a book that I just needed to have. And the wonderful thing is, they sent it to me not even a week later, just a few days later. So I have the Map of Sultan Stars. This is written by Jennifer Zeynab Joukhadar. I should have looked up an interview to see how she says her name. But this is a book set in Syria for the most part. The author is Syrian American, so it is own voices. And in this book, we follow a girl named Noor. In 2011, Noor and her mother go back to Syria. However, this is just before a lot of unrest happens in Syria, and they end up being refugees. And so we follow Noor's path across the Middle East and North Africa. As her mother and Noor are fleeing and making this trip, she is comforted and reminded of a story that her Baba used to tell her, her grandfather used to tell her, about a young girl 800 years previously who made this same trek across the Middle East and North Africa. However, this girl disguised herself as a boy in order to make her fortune. So we follow the same path through the same countries, but 800 years apart. And this book is said to kind of do the same thing for Syria that the Kite Runner did for Afghanistan, to just shine a light on the country and the terrain and the cities and the people, let people into this part of the world. And I am really, really excited to learn more about Syria through this novel, and also learn more about the refugee situation and what that is like for these beautiful people who are trapped in such a horrible, unfortunate situation. So I am really, really excited for this, and super, super thankful to Touchstone Books from, I think, Simon & Schuster for sending this to me in response to my request. I was blown away. The next 2 books on my list are sequels to series that I began or either recently or quite a long time ago. The third one comes out in May, at the end of May, the 29th, and it is Legendary by Stephany Garber. Legendary is the sequel to Caraval, and I just read this one in April, so I'm really, really excited that it's so close to when the sequel is coming out, because it's very fresh on my mind, and I'm super, super excited to continue the story. In Caraval, we meet 2 sisters, and although both of them play a part in the book, we really follow one of the sisters, and it's sounds like, from what I've heard, that Legendary is gonna focus a little bit more on the other sister. So I'm really looking forward to that. And hopefully the adventure is just as captivating as it was in Caravel. I'm really excited for it. The fourth book that I'm gonna talk about today is the third in a trilogy by Sabaa Tahir called Reaper at the Gates, and it comes out on June 12th. I loved An Ember in the Ashes and A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir. I listened to both on audiobook and they were fantastic. They were among my favorite books of 2016, I believe. I just really enjoyed the story. I thought the narrators who did each of the different characters in the book were fantastic. The villains were creepy and wonderfully awful. I'm not sure if I'm going to go back and reread the books. I may just go back and look at some summaries and reviews. I don't think that I'm gonna have time to actually go back and reread them before getting the third one, but I'm gonna probably wait until it's available on audiobook, and I really hope it's the same narrators if they do make it an audiobook, because they were so good. And the final book that I'm going to talk about today comes out also in June on the 19th, and it's called The Lost Words Bookshop, and it's by Stephany Butland. I am a sucker for books about books, and when I saw that there's another one coming out, I got very excited about it. In this book, we follow Loveday Cardew, and she is I don't know if she's the owner or a worker in this bookshop. She really, really loves books more than people, and sometimes I can relate to that. She has the first lines of some of her favorite novels tattooed all over her skin, but Loveday also has some secrets and things about her life that she does not want to share with other people. And she feels like the bookshop is the perfect place to hide. But into the bookshop, we are also going to meet a poet, a lover, and 3 suspicious deliveries. I don't know if they all show up on the same day or not, but all of these things let Loveday know that someone has discovered things about her past that she really did not want others to know. And so is she going to be able to survive these secrets being brought out into the open? I have a feeling it's going to be about her learning to connect and make some real relationships. I don't remember if it was on Goodreads or somewhere else in a description of this book. It said for fans of A.J. Fikry and The Little Paris Bookshop. I've not yet read The Little Paris Bookshop, but I really loved A.J. Fikry, the storied life of A.J. Fikry, and so if it's anything like that, I'm sure that it is going to be a hit for me. Those are the 5 books that I am the most excited about coming out in the second quarter of the year. I would love to hear from you if any of these sound interesting, if you've heard of any of them, if you are already marking your calendars for them, if you are someone who pre-orders, I would love to know if you pre-order them. Also, let me know if there's another book that you are interested in that either came out in April or May already, or will be coming out in June in this second quarter of the year. I would love to hear from you if there's another book that's on your radar that maybe I missed. Give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I love chatting with you guys and getting to know you. So please, I would love to have you become a part of this little corner of the internet. And I will definitely be talking to you in another video very soon. Bye.